this works out.
I'm probably trying to calm you.
Oops. Didn't mean to do that.
I bet the order's shaking. It's all dead.
Alright, is everything working? Are we up and ready?
Really.
Let's see.
Timekeeper can't be happy about what happened to Saul.
How many days did we spend together, my friends? Out into a verdant expanse, danger in our heels.
I hope the Agas are made of sterner stuff. The last mechanic I had opened my rig and fainted on the spot. Last I heard, he still has not woken. Screams plenty though.
I hear the Vault Hunter killed that traitorous bastard.
Saul's dead, and the mountain will be punished for it.
Lots of folks looking for their place in the August these days.
Okay. Hmm. All right, testing, testing. Can you hear me, please?
Saul's death will bring some semblance of peace to the fates.
Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Alright, I guess I better stop with the jokes. But anyway, everyone, welcome back to the live stream of Tea and Toast with Ghost. I am your host, Ghost. And we are back again.
Not. Still missing.
Where is it? Soundboard. There we go.
Suppose it's for the best.
Oops. Oh. Whoops. Alright, let's hit that again. Whoops. Alright, well, now that we've yayed ourselves into existence, let us get started.
Keep your head down.
Oy vey. Although I don't know why I just decided to go with oy vey. And all the ghoulies say is pretty fly for a white guy. Or if you prefer the Weird Al version, he's pretty fly for a rabbi.
Try my hand. It's Cairo's poker once again. No, no, I'd better not.
Could go for some Kyrosian apple pie right about now. Not available to off-worlders.
GLP ones. Probably do some research in ones. Alright, now then, where am I? Now where am I going? Oh, I've got 3 rewards. With justice. It's a side quest one. Alright. Let's roll. Now, why did I teleport here? Oh, it was closest. Technically. Let's see. That's 15 plus to everything. That's awesome.
Start trying now.
Oh. All right, everybody. Anyway, while we wait for comments and questions to come in, I have a topic I'd like to discuss. Now, what is that topic? Here, let me show you. Oh, oops, that's the wrong thing. Hold on, let me fix this. Alright, there we go. What you see before you... Actually, here, let me fix this screen. Real quick. I mean, is that even readable? Kind of. Alright, I guess I'll have to... I was hoping to keep it on screen for a little bit, but I guess we'll just have to do this. This is the hit stage show of Thinking of Six, an original musical where they talk about Henry VIII's 6 wives as a 21st century pop group. And it goes over all of Henry's wives. Catherine of Aragon, Anne Boleyn, Jane Seymour, Anne of Cloves, Catherine Howard, and Catherine Parr. Now, the play is about how much of how bad Henry was and how bad the women had it. And, you know, I can sit here and say that through history, a lot of people did what they had to survive and ensure their reign. I can sit there and say that with a certainty. But saying that Henry was this low-down, evil person, that is a rather big contradiction to what the historical record actually is. Now, I can hear a few people saying, wait, Ghost, Henry was terrible. He did so many bad things during his reign. Okay, then let's do some quick history checks here, shall we? Okay, first off, the Barbary pirates and the Arab slave trade, which is still ongoing to this day, FYI. And who were the Barbary pirates? They were Muslim pirates who enslaved black people, white people, and almost every ethnicity they could get their hands on. And why did they do this? Because their God said they could. It's literally in the Quran. I know there are those who will tell me I'm being a hater and I'm being an Islamophobe. I'm not being an Islamophobe. I'm literally here talking about verses that are in the Quran. I mean... And, you know, there could be a slight argument for translation errors. But from even what I've heard of Muslims who have converted to Christianity who are still fluent in Arabic, they say that that there's a couple words in there that have verbiage that isn't exactly accurate. Finicky Finster. But the Barbary pirates exclusively sold to the Muslims of their time period, and they captured British, French, American, and Africans. So that means any country that wasn't Muslim at the time. If you were not Muslim, you were on the block to be enslaved. And U.S. officials went to a meeting with, because they wanted to speak to Muslim representatives. I think they were in Egypt or somewhere around there. And they asked them, why are you enslaving our people? You know, it wasn't, oh, it was a mistake. They literally sat there and said, because our God says we can, and there's nothing you can do to sit about it. Hence, the Barbary pirate wars happened. And for those of you who say I'm lying out, that is, I hate to break this to you, but I am not lying. This was taught to me at MCRD boot camp about the pirate Barbary wars. And even the U.S. Navy covers it. Because they were the ones who were hunting down the Barbary pirates too, and it was the Marines on the ship, along with the sailors who were fighting them. And why did that particular war happen? Because the United States was sick of having its sailors enslaved. And even the War of 1812 was fought because the British kept treating American sailors and sailors like they were their own sailors who were deserters, when that was completely untrue.
If I overhear one more half-bit, hurry! Supplies are limited. Wait! Oh, not sure what I'll do with it. Hope your grip's as strong as your jaws. You keep talking to me.
But anyway, they were enslaving multiple people. They were enslaving everybody they could get their hands on. And do you know what they did to these slaves?
No pus, but the easy blood trail.
The men, they were castrated and turned into eunuchs. And they were their premier labor force. I mean, there's even like one or two sultans in Turkey and Persia
Hello? Anyone here?
who heralded the fact that
Well, that didn't go according to plan, did it?
Well, you tell me. How are you in the computer?
but
Yeah,
they
I
sat
did
there
see
and
it.
talked about
I
how
was hoping I
important
wouldn't have to,
eunuchs
but
were to their economy.
Remember how I just told you Vile Lecter digitally uploaded copies of his consciousness? I could do that too. Because I'm one of them copies.
What? You are Vile Lecter?
Relax, I ain't a vile one. I'm a version of Lecter from before he went nuts. Call me, I don't know, mild Lecter. Or let's just stick with the boss. Look, I don't blame you for being suspicious. All I can tell you is that I'm the last of Lecter's humanity. The party cut out of himself on his power trip bullshit. That's how I know about them other copies. And now that I'm back on the network, that's how I also know we got a bigger issue to deal with. They're already downloading a Vile Lecter copy into a new body. If we don't stop them fast, you won't just have
Oh,
a
that's
Vile
not gonna
Lecter on your
happen.
hands.
I'm not gonna let that
You'll
happen.
have the real deal. Listen, I realize me being a copy of Lecter seems problematic. If we don't stop him from making a fresh Vile Lecter, though, problematic. Don't even begin to cover it.
Oh, fair enough.
We gotta do what we gotta do.
So, you are positive they are making a new Lecter now, hmm?
Dead sure. And it gets worse. I'm a local copy, but afterward, Vile Lecter started working on an experimental cloud backup.
Like a trial Lecter.
All right, calm down. Anyway, Lecter's in the cloud now. Can't just smash his copies in his bunker, but I got a plan for how we can work that and this new downloading Lecter to our advantage. First, take the drive. Lecter's secret black site. I think you've been there. There's an access terminal that'll let you reroute the cloud back up to an external hard drive. Then I take that file, convert it into a nasty-ass virus, and bingo. When you install it into the bunker mainframe, it'll kill the whole Lecter cloud. Dead. Kaput.
Ay. That's not terrifying now, is it? Dude was willing to rip a hole in reality just to ascend to his version of godhood.
Calder, strange question, but did you know the boss is actually a version of Lecter?
I had my suspicions, Wellspring. Lecter was not always vile, mind you. I felt I owed my friend the opportunity to rediscover the goodness I've always believed lurked within him.
Ah, but do you believe he is trustworthy?
What remains of him in the boss? I'm certain of it.
Where's the last one? Hey, come here a second. Did you quit that? Ooh, level up. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I was working on this one. Okay. But anyway, back onto where I was. And in the Quran, it's forbidden for Muslims to actually castrate people. So what did they do? They forced the slaves to castrate themselves. And then they made the eunuchs castrate the new slaves. You know, a little religious loophole, if you will. let's fast travel here. Save myself some time. But they, so, you know, this is Muslims we're talking about. And it's like, well, Ghost, you're not talking about anything Christians have done. Okay. Should we talk about the choir boys? And no, I'm not talking about what happens behind the pulpit with the choir boys. Although that's something that was a problem back then. But what they actually did to the choir boys back then was about just as bad. And what do I mean by what would they do to them? I mean, you know, well, let's see. To preserve, because there are boys who have singing voices that are higher and better than some girls and women's voices. So, to preserve those voices, you couldn't allow them to go through puberty. So, there were a lot of places that instead of trying to find new choir boys, they would castrate them as well. And this was practiced until, I believe, the 18th century. And for those of you who are like, why would they castrate them? That makes no sense. Well, the simple version here is that when a boy's testicles drop and he hits puberty, his voice breaks. I mean, when I was younger, before my voice cracked, a lot of people thought I was a girl because I sounded like one until my voice cracked. And that's what they would do to the choir boys. They would castrate them so they would keep those beautiful singing voices. Now, do I think that that's terrible? Absolutely. And do I think it was disgusting that the church even allowed that practice? Yes. But they did it. And this was deemed acceptable to keep those beautiful Christian choirs singing. Now, I'm not talking about the Mormon Tabernacle, because they actually they only use adults for the Tabernacle choir. And so, yes, Christians did bad things. The Muslims did bad things. I mean, if you wanted me to keep going, we could sit here and talk about how Vlad Tepes impaled... Oh, actually, let me give him his proper full name here. Vlad Dracula Tepes. Not Vlad Dracula Tepes from Castlevania, the real man. And FYI, Dracula does not mean vampire. It means dragon in the language from where he is. And in their culture, a dragon is not a monster. It's viewed as a protector because he was the powerful protector of his people. So, yes, I can understand why people are like, oh gosh. The point I'm trying to make here is that there, throughout history, multiple groups have done terrible things. Now, I might be saying, okay, you've covered Islam, Christianity. Do you know anything about anyone who's Jewish has done bad in history? I'm not too familiar with Jewish histories as I'd like to be. But, trying to think. What is actually something that I've heard of that actually fits this? Because the different tribes of Judea around Roman times, I mean, you could almost call the crucifixion of Jesus of Nazareth their fault, but I'm pretty sure I'm not 100% correct there. Although I do know that historically Jewish people have not been welcoming to a lot of other people. And was this because of the oppression that Jewish people faced? It was not. It was purely that the people in question, it doesn't matter that they were Christians. It didn't matter, well, Muslims and Jewish people. The religious fights for those reasons are kind of obvious. The sons of Abraham would do battle forever, but and their descendants.
I made it in, boss. How do I switch the downloads?
Just plug in that drive. Your Echo can handle the details.
But Jewish people, especially in specific types, they are known to be very what's the word I'm looking for here? Oh yeah. That if you aren't Jewish or you're not converting, they will get in fist fights with people. Now, I'm not talking about where someone is holding a sign saying destroy Israel, burn the Jews. I'm not talking about that, because that's provocation to a well, it could be viewed as provocation even under free speech, or you could do the whole thing that stops the people of where it's the Muslims are right about the Jews, Muslims are right about women. But I'm not talking about those specific kinds of things. But I do know that even now, if you're not Jewish and you walk into certain communities, there is a possibility you will be attacked. Although in recent years, I have heard that it's toned down recently. But it still happened. Ooh, chest. Anything? Ooh, I actually scored with this chest. Alright, through the rift. Now, why do I bring up these historical examples? Is this to defame people? Is this to make people look bad? No. This is to show that throughout history, groups and other kinds of groups have done terrible things. And even people have done terrible things. So sitting here attributing to things to one group to another, or what one person does, isn't just wrong, it's also heavily misinformed.
To stray from the mountain is to stray into the darkness.
So with historical context here, Henry VIII was, did he do bad things? Yes. Were some bad things done on his orders? Yes. But was he the only person who ever did anything wrong? No, he was not. I mean, considering how the Spanish Inquisition ripped through various different parts of the world to force conversion to the Roman Catholic dogma, plenty of people have done bad things. I mean, even in France.
Go ahead and plug that drive in.
You are trusting him of all people? I thought you were more superior being than that.
I mean, there was a time in France where if you were French, but you had a lot of English if you had English ancestry, they chased you out.
Dubious Lecter, the weakness in me, severed and abandoned. But there is hope for you yet. Allow me access to
So,
your networks
take
of
it for what you will,
understanding
folks.
and I will permit you a merciful duration.
Who do you think you're talking to? You ought to know your bullshit's not gonna work on me. I'm you moron.
Untrue. You are my useless humanity, a cancer removed. I cannot let you infect the whole with your mediocrity. Also, where did you develop this odd manner of speech?
Hey, I worked hard on this accent to not sound like your evil eyeball-looking ass. Turn myself into a respected businessman who incidentally is about to delete you for good.
Huh? You do not have the power to defeat me.
I sure do, dipshit. Especially when your monologuing gives me time to transform you into a virus.
What? No! Surely we can come to an understanding.
Nope, I don't think it's gonna happen.
I do not think I have ever gotten to kill someone twice.
I refuse to believe someone like you could cause my demise. No! Stop! No!
What a piece of work. Now, according to Fancy, Bruce is ready to go. You get yourself to Lictor's bunker, I'll make sure Bruce meets you there.
On my way. And nice work, boss.
No congratulating till Vile Lictor's toast. Be careful out there, Vault Hunter.
But anyway, there's multiple historical examples of rulers who have done, what we would call terrible and horrible things. Not necessarily because they could or they even wanted to, They did it to prove a point to their enemies. I mean, you know, I can't say for 100% certainty if Vlad Tepes really and truly wanted to impale impale his enemies, but he did it to show his enemies that would happen to them if they dared cross him. You know what we would call a modern day show of force, if you will, here. Not exactly a modern day show of force, but that's the idea. So now we go to Henry and his 6 wives. And seeing as that, I guess this bears repeating. Let's start off with how Henry became King of England. Henry became King of England at the age of 18 years old when his older brother Arthur passed away, who actually was the one who was supposed to inherit the throne. And I believe he died of illness. But I don't remember what it was off the top of my head. So Henry became King of England when most people of our era are graduating high school. So let's consider that for a minute. You know, not necessarily as sympathy, but as... what's the best way to put this? To show just how different the times were. And, you know, there's also something else here we have to consider. This was also during the Renaissance. And one of the major things that had happened at the time was Martin Luther. Not Martin Luther King Jr., Martin Luther. The founder of what we now call Lutheranism, or the form of Christianity known as Lutheran. What the heck? I've never actually picked this up before. Never actually seen this one either. Interesting. So what value is this thing then? So what is this thing? What is the rarity? Pearlescent? Okay, I don't know what that means. Convert damage to crypto damage depending on enemy's health type. Accuracy increased with continuous fire. And it shoots the sticky gyros. Okay, I guess we'll give this thing a whirl. I never actually found this on my first playthrough, so this is interesting to me. So, I guess let's test this thing out. What the?
Today, your run comes to an end.
Okay. That's definitely interesting. Wow, this does actually a phenomenal damage. That's interesting. But anyway, Henry became King of England at the age of 18 after his elder brother died. And while he was king, Martin Luther
Everything good?
Bruce is
went
here,
and
but
mailed
he
his
is not
list of
issued
complaints
one
about
that
what the
he
Catholic Church had been doing.
That's because I need you to establish a connection between us. Your Echo 4 can handle that.
And what had the church been doing? Well, gee, to just list that off real quick. Church
All right. Done.
priests of the church
Way to go.
have
Now follow me to
been
the bunker entrance.
had
Find
been
what I
taking donations from people to basically forgive them of their sins.
Was that your doing?
Yeah, he's inside. Pretty cool, huh? Told you it was worth the hassle. Cool your jets a second, I'll get you in. And voila, one fresh riff, just for you.
Color impressed. Does Bruce have any idea where he is heading?
You mean, do I know? Of course I do. Don't be a schmuck, stick with me. The death of fire
Schmuck, huh?
only confirms the weakness of flesh. While he dies, I remain extant. Now I prepare my return, stronger and better.
And what had the cat? Let's see. There were many. Let's see. The church. You had priests who had been saying, donate to the church's coffers, donate to my coffers, and I will absolve you of your sins, and you won't go to hell. Or there were multiple cardinals and even popes who were married and had children. I mean, if you've ever played Assassin's Creed 2, there was the Rodrigo Borgia. He actually, there is some historical truth to that. Rodrigo Borgia did become Pope, and he also had at least some children. And he had maybe 3 surviving children, maybe. I don't know the full historical context of that, but I do know he was Pope, and it was well known that he had children. And he had been a cardinal for a very long time when he actually became Pope.
Time for a down move.
So there were plenty of things to complain about. And that's why Martin Luther nailed his list of complaints to the church door. And eventually he fled. Where was Martin Luther originally from? I don't remember exactly, but I don't believe it was Italy. When I have a minute, I'll double check that. But I believe he was actually a priest from France, if I remember correctly. I could be. I think I'm maybe 40% correct here. But Martin Luther became famous when he went and nailed his list of complaints to a church door because of all of the corrupt things that they were doing. So take that for what you will.
I have more if you would like.
And you know, I could sit here and just list. I couldn't tell you what his exact list of complaints were. But considering you had priests breaking their vows and everything, I know that what I'm saying is fairly accurate to what was going on. And that Martin Luther absolutely hated every minute of it. That's true. Because if he didn't hate it and believe it was wrong, he wouldn't have gone and nailed the his list of complaints to a church door. I hate that centrifugal stuff. It's basically a mini black hole. This thing is definitely an interesting one. But Martin Luther had, after he nailed that list of complaints to the door, eventually he found himself in the Prussian city-states. And when I say Prussia, I mean Germany. This was before Prussia unified under what would become Germany. But Martin Luther had become the guests of the princes who ran the city-states in Prussia. Just as in the same way, there were rulers who ruled the city-states in Italy, like Florence. Because Rome has always been universally ruled by the church. Let's see, Florence, Venice, sorry. But But this was the time frame that Henry was King of England. And to start off with Catherine of Aragorn here, Henry actually didn't harm her. At least not in the way that what happened to Anne Boleyn. We'll get to that. Violent. Big violent things. They're annoying and hard to deal with. Because he hybridized the Ordinite energies with the Iridium energies, even though Ordinite is supposed to act as a countermeasure to it, but still.
This is it. The last hurrah. Slap the virus into the mainframe and it's sayonara to Lecter. All of them. You've done good work, Vault Hunter. Thanks.
So, now then, to start off things here, Catherine was actually his brother's bride. Yes. And they had to actually, for Henry to marry Catherine, they actually had to get papal, what is the word I'm looking for here? It wasn't approval, it was something else. It was called something else. But they had to get approval from the Pope to get married. Because she was his brother's widow.
Nancy speaks.
But they had to get approval. He had to get approval to marry his brother's widow. And they got it. And, you know, for anyone here who thinks Catherine of Aragorn was this poor, poor woman, let me make something very clear here, to those of you who don't know. Catherine of Aragorn belonged to the Habsburg family of Spain. And the Habsburgs did not stop ruling Spain.
Ha-ha! Order ain't got shit on me! Am I right, boss?
But Catherine
Boss, are you there?
was not
Well,
just a
Spring,
Spanish princess.
congratulations on your success. You should return to the pit. I'll be waiting here for you.
She was a princess of House Habsburg in Spain. And if anyone remembers any history of Spain, if you actually had a marriage to anybody who had any relation to Habsburg, that was a very big deal at the time. Not to mention the fact that Spain had one of the largest Spain was actually at the time a world superpower with one of the largest armadas that sailed the oceans at the time. And the Spanish army was not to be trifled with, to say the least. drive. Let's see, that's my... What? The torque is definitely better. The order's boost sucks, but okay. But all Catherine needed to do to start a war was to either write her, I believe Isabella of Spain was actually Catherine's mother, or her aunt. She was... I don't remember specifically who Catherine's mother was. But Catherine, all she had to do was write a letter to her family in Spain. If Henry did anything the family didn't want him to do, they could have literally sailed Spanish Armada to England, and they could have easily dethroned Henry and made England a vassal state of Spain if they really wanted to. That's how strong the Spanish were. So Henry didn't really have... he could have fought the war with Spain, yes. But he also would have had to deal with the population revolt, a peasant revolt too. Because Catherine was very beloved by the people of England.
I am not the one in danger.
So Henry doing anything to Catherine would have led to an internal war, and that was actually something that was true when after Anne Boleyn became king. Well, not when Anne Boleyn became queen. It was when Henry started raiding the outer abbeys for books and knowledge and other things. And he, and that made the population very angry, who relied on those abbeys as religious institutions, but also viewed them as people who didn't do anything wrong to them. Because not everywhere had a church. Major cities had cathedrals, yes, and larger towns had churches, yes. But for places that were more remote, you didn't have churches, you had abbeys. And because you had abbeys, they were places where religious worship happened, and also religious knowledge was restored. And other things were restored as well.
I must say bravo on your triumph. Never again must the augurs fear vile Lecter.
Where is the boss?
Oh, I thought you knew. The virus killed every copy of Lecter, even him. But wait, what's this? Why, it's a digital miracle.
They're playing me.
Gaga, I'm Child Lecter.
There is no way that it is you.
See, Calder, I told you they wouldn't buy it.
Lecter, you may have turned away from evil, but you will never fully commit to a bit. Wellspring, the boss remains quite alive, but his stint as the boss will have to end.
Yeah, do me a favor. Grab my drive and upload me into Bruce.
Alright, here you go, Bruce.
Say goodbye to the boss, and hello to helped a lot of people. I'd like to see that continue. So thanks again, VH. You're the real deal.
Become the boss. Alright, let's go do that Clave Home mission real well. And then we will head to deal with the Rippers. But, anyway, Catherine could have easily written her family in Spain and brought the swords and the cannons of the Spanish to England quite easily. That's the item of the day. Where is it? I mean, I always collect these things, so why not?
A fair turn there. Come see me again? Unless you're broke, good call on the restock.
Really? Alright, I'll check that out in a minute. But Catherine could have easily called on her family to come help her if Henry went too far and stepped out of line. So Catherine was not this damsel in distress. And for many, many years, Henry and Catherine were happily married. I mean, if people knew how many children Catherine had, they'd still blame Henry for his death. Well, for her death, but for her passing. But that's not exactly true. But that's not exactly true either. So, for those of you who want to know to blame Henry for Catherine's death, I mean, both of them were I guess you could say, responsible for what ultimately ended up happening. But it wasn't just Henry's doing. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, as many people recall, Henry wanted a son to take the throne of England. And the reason why that was because of what happened with his father. Henry VII, Henry VIII's father, he became King of England he won it on the battlefield. I believe it was the War of the Roses, because after the previous royal line, it didn't die out. The previous king actually tried to put a bastard heir on the throne. Now, am I saying that this person was a crude, terrible person? No, that's not what I'm talking about here. If you actually go into the English dictionary, a bastard is a slur, yes, but it also means a child born out of wedlock. In other words, the parents weren't married to each other.
Nancy speaks.
And before Henry VII, I think I looked it up, and I don't remember who it was. I believe it was a Plantagenet. Well, someone of the Plantagenet family, if memory serves.
Quite a filibuster.
But that king died on the battlefield, and his bastard never sat on the throne of England. So Henry VII became King of England. So, seeing as that Henry was maybe a boy of 7 when all of this happened, and also Henry VII had multiple uprisings when he was king. Henry knew firsthand what would happen to his rule and his monarchy. Hold on a second, folks. Sorry about that, folks. I had to deal with something. But, anyway, Henry was a little boy when multiple uprising against his father happened. Because he won the crown of England on the battlefield. So because he won it on the battlefield, there were others who were like, we can do the same thing too. And I believe after the War of the Roses, there was at least 2 uprisings during Henry VII's reign. So Henry knew full well what would happen if his kingdom became subject to division and derision amongst his people, and he didn't want that because France had as much claim as the King of France, as he did to the throne of England as he did. Because, as many people don't seem to know, both the bloodline for the English monarchy and the French monarchy, what's left of it in modern days, which is to say not a lot, all heralded from the bloodline of Charlemagne. So the King of France had as much right to the throne of England as Henry did, and with the internal strife, the King of France could have easily invaded. Henry did not want that. And it was actually something he was actively afraid of. But anyway, so that was actually something Henry was very much afraid of. The destruction of his kingdom and his nation. And seeing as that what had happened previously, Henry wanted to keep his realm united. So Henry knew that he could not put a bastard child on the throne. If he did it, his political rivals in England and possibly France might try and claim the throne. So Henry, knowing that, said, I need a proper heir. And so needing a proper heir, that's what he and Catherine intended to do. Darn it, another vial. I like this thing already. And it dropped a legendary too. How interesting. Gamma gun. So it's a giant radiation gun. How nice. But anyway, and for those of you who don't know, it was documented that Catherine had at least 7 children, if memory serves. Now, I can hear a few people saying, well, Ghost, if that was the case, why did Henry have to leave Catherine? Well, allow me to inform you. 4 of them were stillbirths. The baby was not born alive. Then, Catherine had 3 living children. Both of the other 2, well, both of the first 2, in case you have forgotten about infant mortality rates, before, I think it was 1850 or 1880, the infant mortality rate was incredibly high. And that didn't change until we learned to actually use basic hygiene. If anyone who's watching wants me to tell that story, I will tell it. Of how one doctor dropped the infant mortality rate by over like 40% by doing one thing. But Catherine had at least one living son, had 1 son that was born alive, and 2 daughters that were born alive. Another legendary. What he did. I'm going to use your corpses to grease my guns. Now, don't really use that, but that's an interesting find. I actually wish they had it in the Borderlands 3 game, because you could actually click a button and throw, and it would throw the knife or the axe depending upon the mod that you had equipped, and then you'd hit another button and throw a grenade. I actually really liked that. They took that away in this one because it was a bit overpowered. If you could get it done, you could do it right. But Catherine gave birth to 3 living children. Let's see, if memory serves, the first one lived like 3 days and passed away. Then the next one was, I believe, a daughter. And she passed away after 2 weeks. And I believe in one of the cases, the child passed in Catherine's arms. I could be wrong about that. But I believe she held at least one of them when just before or while, I believe. The stories are widely conflicting in certain places.
I always make time for the
But
things.
that was how many children Catherine had with Henry. And the last child that Henry had with Catherine, at least that we know that was born alive, she was named Mary, and she eventually became known as Bloody Mary for what she did in England after Henry passed, because Henry returned both his daughters to the succession line, even though he had a son with Jane Seymour. We'll get to that later. Now, that's how many children we can say for certain Catherine of Aragon did have. So people will sit there and say, why the heck did Catherine have so many issues, and why did so many children pass? Well, sadly for Catherine, genetics is a really big factor here. Now I imagine there are a few people who are going, Ghost, that doesn't make any sense. Well, let me spell it out to you in English. The Habsburg family more or less interbred itself into extinction. In other words, they married their first to second cousins to keep the bloodline pure. And, nowadays we know the side effects of inbreeding. They didn't know them. They didn't know it back then. And that was actually a really big problem that Catherine of Aragon had. She had been inbred for at least 3-4 generations. And that does damage not only to you on the genetic level, but it also damages your reproductive chances. And I'm not saying this to besmirch Catherine's honor. I'm saying that this was a side effect of her of her ancestors' decisions. I mean, if you want to be technical, the children, if they had survived from Catherine and Henry, they would have had better genetic viability. But sadly, that was not the case. So, Catherine had many children, but she only had one that actually made it to adulthood. So think about that one for a minute, just of how different times were. Now, am I saying this justifies Henry trying to leave her?
Not shaking that one off.
I mean, personally, if I knew what I knew and some of the problems that Henry had, but Henry had seen too much, and you know, this was, you know, I can sit here and say that, you know, to a degree, yes, Henry was driven by fear to do his action, for the actions that he committed. Yes, I can say that I can say that that actually happened. But his fear was frankly well justified. Shh. So that being the case here, Henry was very much was paranoid and afraid that his political rivals in England would launch a coup against him. Or that regional rivals would, like the King of France, would invade. So Henry needed a proper heir. So because Henry needed a proper heir to preserve his kingdom, his legacy, and his people, he did what he had to do. Now, am I saying that it was moral? Frankly, no, I don't believe it was moral in the slightest, to be bluntly honest with everybody. But I do understand his reasoning. That if he didn't have a proper heir, it would leave everything he'd built, everything he did in his life, to destruction. If he allowed that to happen. And that was something he wanted to avoid desperately. So, once Catherine failed to give him an heir, I believe there's some speculation that Henry tried to put a illegitimate son on the heir, as an heir, and either the child passed or something else happened. I don't recall. But once Henry realized that Catherine could not give him the child he needed to preserve his nation, his lands, that's when he started that's when he not position, what's the word I'm looking for here? He asked the Pope to annul the marriage. And And seeing as that the Pope, one of the Pope's biggest supports was the Spanish monarchy, the Pope declined to do that. I mean, it is better damage-wise. But why would it increase grenade damage when it's not a grenade? Oh well. But so Henry had a really big problem. So because Henry had a problem, he tried to do his best to come up with a solution. And once Henry realized he needed an heir that Catherine couldn't give him, that's when he asked the Pope to annul the marriage. And the Pope refused. So, because the Pope refused to do this, Henry was in a bind. Now, Henry could have sat there Is there not a way to do a more internal map of this place? Looks like I'm backtracking now. Wonderful. But so Henry did everything within his power to try and keep his kingdom from falling into civil war and possibly being destroyed by regional enemies. So, once it became clear that the Pope was not going to annul the marriage,
That is all of them, Wellspring. Finally, our struggle with
ultimately,
reaches its end.
Henry, after trying to...
There are times when I wonder, has he finally sent me my end? And yet, here we are. Changed, yet more ready for what dangers lie ahead.
Wisely put, Wellspring. Join me at Belton's Boar, so we can perform the funeral rites together.
Alright, then let's teleport out of here then. But once it became clear to Henry that the Pope was not going to give him clemency, well, not clemency, the Pope was not going to annul the marriage, Henry, after more than likely fighting with himself, he ultimately decided to create the Church of England. And with him at the head of the church, he annulled the marriage to Catherine himself.
Place the fallen augur's bolts on the memorial, please.
And oh, there's one more bull I need to place. Where? Oh, right there on the rock.
As your bolts are fused with stone, we know your souls are returned to the mountain. Your drill sparks dim, but will never be forgotten. In death, may you know the freedom of swirling wind over crag and snow. Rest, my kin.
Aga friends, better luck in the next life.
I can hardly express how relieved I am to finally put Lecter's evil behind us. Now, it is finally time to build our Clave's future. You have my eternal gratitude, Wellspring.
Alright. Now we go deal with the Ripper Queen. Where do I want to teleport to? Alright. Don't really want to teleport here, but fine. But anyway, once Henry freed himself, once Henry was, I'm not sure how to say this. Once Henry had a no, let's put it in the best way not in the most favorable terms. But once Henry annulled his marriage, he pursued things with Anne Boleyn. Now, I can hear some people saying, well, wait, what happened to Catherine? I believe, if memory serves, I believe Catherine lived another 10 years. If memory serves, and she died of an unknown illness.
Hunter, are you close? The Rippers are outside, and not to alarm you, but the decor in here is dated at best.
I am on this.
Quiet, you little fashionista. I'm saving your butt. But to this day, we don't know what Catherine Aragorn died of.
I guess I owe you my part of our deal.
If memory serves, there were two prevailing theories.
Rippers have been taken care of.
One was that she had a form of cancer
Nice to meet you. I'm
that we haven't been able we haven't
of the
seen
Elected
again,
Defense Society. It's a supper club. That also
or she
defends
died of an
Arcadia
illness that
against
burned
predators.
itself out, like the sleeping sickness. Well, no, not the I got the wrong name. The sweating sickness.
We're aristocrats, not what's the word? Gun persons? Fightmongers? Soldiers. Levaine's the one who's
And
doing it.
yes,
Back in
the
her
sweating
basic
sickness was a
Fucking
real
agree.
thing.
Damn it! Speak of the devils, more rippers.
And yes, Henry was known to flee from places where whenever disease reared its head. That was part of the reason why he lived so long.
I just prefer not to. Until a few years ago, the only thing I'd
Henry figured out that if he left the places where disease was and didn't stick around, his odds of surviving were better.
Oh God, I hate this part.
Than if he had stayed there. I mean, even Anne Boleyn, before she married Henry, actually survived the sweating sickness, and it wasn't inconceivable that Anne Boleyn passed those antibodies on to Elizabeth I.
They want that command bolt back real bad.
Any idea
If
why?
we're talking about,
To give to General
if we're
Callis.
talking about
Or
things
that's
here.
what we called her before she, you know. Ugh.
So,
She goes by the
Catherine of
Ripper Queen
Aragorn
these days.
passed.
Let me tell you.
Now, if
not my
Henry
favorite makeover.
had truly,
Anyway, Callis is besieging
if Henry was
Arcadia
truly
to get
sad
her
upon
vote.
her
My
death,
fire team was
I
supposed
don't
to
believe
sneak
it was
and
ever
hack their
recorded.
catapults. But
It
it's
was
how that
dramatized,
went.
yes.
Levine won't be happy. You just let me know when you're ready to start the call with her.
But
I can't thank you enough for saving us back there.
but it was never
so much
expressly
already.
stated in any historical records that Henry actually properly grieved Catherine's death.
I oblige. Now,
We don't know.
I'm shaken, but okay. When the Order abandoned us, I thought at least we wouldn't have to live in fear anymore. Instead, every day we've got rippers at our throats.
surely it beats having the timekeeper at your throats, hmm?
Boom, chuck-a-murky. Okay.
I can't believe we made it out alive. Once we got cut off at the bridge, I was certain we were finished. It's just a shame Levaine's plan fell apart. She's usually prepared for anything.
Tell me more about this Levain. Paint me a word picture.
I trust her with my life. We all do. She's the only reason we survived the cataclysm. The other leaders have struggled to adapt, but Levain, it's like she was born for this.
Resourceful and adaptable? She sounds like a true survivor.
Oh, I'd follow her into a burning building. But she can only do so much. We're outmanned and outgunned. Something needs to change. I just don't know how.
But now that was Catherine's end.
Okay, let's try her. Deep breath.
Now
Levane, how are you? It's Quent.
on
Operation
to
Catapult
Anne
Fury
Boleyn.
had,
Now Henry
results.
married
But I was
Anne.
just talking to my Vault Hunter friend, and
Damn it, Quent! I told you not to talk to that vulgar, double-dealing cad!
oh no, not him. This is a new Vault Hunter friend, not you know.
I have become an expert in Ripper extermination. I am willing to ply my craft in exchange for a specific fee.
Well, straight to the point. You are a Vault Hunter, aren't you? Let me get to the point then. Our supply lines are blocked.
But
Extend
anyway,
the bridge nearby,
Anne
and I'll be more
married Henry,
to negotiation.
I'm just gonna.
and it wasn't too much longer before Anne gave birth to a daughter, who would eventually become Elizabeth I. And, you know, for the first couple of years, everything was going well. Anne gave Henry a child,
No luck here. The bridge controls are out.
and the child was a daughter, but Henry had hoped
You can destroy them. It'll slow the siege and clear Carcadia's supply lines in one
that he would have, that sons would follow.
Requires an exchange in kind. Namely,
And after Anne gave birth to Elizabeth, Anne never had another live birth.
That hardly matters if we're not alive to use it. Very well.
Now,
Break this siege.
now some people will say, well, if Catherine's genetics were the problem, what happened with Anne Boleyn?
I'm sending
Well,
ahead with explosives.
the most likely answer that medical science tells us
Vault hunters.
Move this upstairs. We don't bother your live stream. Come on. Yes.
I knew you would come, Vault Hunter. I saw it.
Can you also see how many fingers I am holding up? Whoever you are.
I am Callus, Moon-called Queen, and this is my domain. You've been
The Ripper
cutting through
Queen.
Rippers like burning steel. I am impressed by your worthiness.
Ah, you flatter me. Not enough people do, if I am honest.
When the sky broke open, so did the chains at my neck. I saw my future in the wings of flame. It is my divine burden to free this world. Your arrival is harbinger to my ascent. Kill what you must. Spill the blood of the
Cuckoo,
weak among
cuckoo,
ghosts.
cuckoo,
Destiny will
cuckoo,
not yield.
cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. I had to. But anyway, as to why after Elizabeth was born and survived, why Anne never had any more live children after that, medical doctors have basically said the most likely cause was the rhesus blood typing. Now, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, scientists discovered a while ago that when a mother gives birth to a child that does not have the same blood type as her, the body has an immune response to it. So that means that at a certain stage in development, once the child is developed enough and the body's immune system recognizes it as not the mother, if the right situation has occurred, the body's immune system will start attacking the child. And they've actually developed a vaccine nowadays to develop that. To counteract that specific to make sure that doesn't happen. And it's something couples who don't share the same blood typing have problems with. And I mean, just as an example, my mother is A negative and my father is A positive. And luckily, neither me nor my elder brother Okay, now where was I? Oh yes, the rhesus blood typing. And my father is a positive and my mother is a negative. And there was concern about that. But luckily, my mother, to my knowledge, never needed that particular vaccine. But most medical historians who go back and look at the diseases and symptoms many of them believe that this was the problem that Anne Boleyn had, and why after she gave birth to Elizabeth, she never had another living kid. So of course, Henry was very upset by this because he had basically blown up his relation with the Catholic Church, and he also pissed off the Spanish by doing what he did. How is it that that's 8 levels higher, but that's still overall the better thing? That's crazy. But Henry put a lot at risk, and once again,
Quint, do you have the explosives?
it ended up biting. It ended up blowing back in his face.
Quint, stay with us, friend.
Now, how did?
No, I'm fine. I just heard my gardener got ripped, and now there's no one to tend to my chrysanthemums. They must be so scared. But I'm here.
Can I slap this guy? He's crying. I mean, it's sad that the guy got ripped. Don't get me wrong. But he's crying about having to do his own gardening. Can we just slap this guy a little bit? So terrible that you have to do your own gardening.
Time to get my revenge on those catapults. Via you. Here, take the explosives.
Explodey boom booms?
Oh, this
I like
tech is
explodey
very
boom booms.
vintage. Is that the polite one?
Yeah, we found him in an order dumpster, which was inside another, larger dumpster. But they should work fine. Just clear a path to that catapult and plant all 3 bombs. Go, go, go. Time lost is chrysanthemums lost.
Fancy. But anyway. So, Henry's frustration that Anne was not giving him his sons was a problem. But meanwhile, it's believed that the Catholic Church conspired to bring England back into the fold. Now, is this 100% true? I can't say for certain. Where's the explosion?
Hold this for me.
Where's the explosion? Oh, I'm not gonna stand there and get shot at.
Happens to the best of us.
There, Tots. Oh, that was a nice dumpster, too.
Oh, jeez.
You waste your strength on these pathetic elective Hunter. Bring me the command bolt so we can rise together, or you will die in this wasteland.
Yes. She taunts us. And maybe she should. Those decrepit bombs were our last hope to stop her.
We do have one option left, Levain. The bar's close by.
First round is on me. We can play poker. Learn about one
Ooh, poker time. Heck yeah, let's go.
Quint? Absolutely not.
Desperate times. You know he's the ultimate wild card.
Who did that?
All right. Responsible, selfish, and other things a lady's not meant to say. Fine.
Oh. It's love, folks. Can you just feel the love here?
Agitates Levain so much,
Oh, that. Levain and him used to get along a little too well, if you catch my drift. Like in the bedroom. They had sexual relations, is what I'm saying.
Oh wow, they had a little bit of boom boom time in the bedroom.
Yes. Thank you for clarifying.
Huh.
Anyway, you asked me. She's letting her feelings for him cloud her judgment.
I hate to eavesdrop, but how dare you?
Oh, you love eavesdropping. You love eavesdropping, woman. I call shenanigans and third degree. Shenanigans in the third degree. I called it. I called it.
Nothing but chaos. Far too often, nasty is a rug burn.
Oh, boo-hoo. He didn't want to do what you wanted. Poor baby. Pobrecita. Is that Mad Moxie's? Wow. Yep. Oh, Moxie was never all that original, I guess.
Looks like our poker game will have to wait.
Quick, clear them out so they can open up the bar.
But, I mean, there is another contributing factor. Although, technically speaking, I'm surprised that Anne didn't pass. Before she was executed. Because I believe Anne got pregnant. How many times? I know she got the estimated number was like 10 or 12 times she got pregnant. And the only one that survived, the only child that was born alive was Elizabeth. So that also means that Anne Boleyn was also suffering from probably a fair amount of fatigue. But she also probably suffered from the fact that her bones were going brittle. She was probably developing arthritis and other things, because modern medical science has shown that if you're a woman of childbearing age and you actually want to have kids, you want to have at least a year in between having children. So that way the body has time to recover. That's what modern medical science tells us. Give the body time to recover, because having a child is an enormous burden on any woman's body. So...
Hey, it's Quint. We cleared the rippers so you can unlock the door. Hello? I'm not here to collect the money I lent you, by the way.
Seriously? You lent money to Moxie.
Oh, we're pals, you know. Super tight. He even let me invest in his supplements business.
Supplements business?
That's some nice gear you've got. I want to look.
No fighting on the premises.
Oh, yep, it's Zane.
Yeah.
And he switched place with his Digi-clone.
Exceptions for the exceptional.
Zane!
Moxie.
What did I tell you about shooting our customers?
Why don't you remind us?
Ladies first.
How old
Sorry
is
for the
Moxie,
mess,
considering she has
This
at
round's
least
on
2
me.
children and everything? I gotta wonder about that sometimes. Although I'm surprised to see 2 of the Vault Hunters from the previous game here.
It's Quentin, you know that. And this is
But-
the Vault Hunter. They're helping us fight off the rippers.
But back to topic. Anne, after Anne kept failing and failing and failing, eventually Henry took an interest in Jane Seymour.
And a sharp tongue to boot. What do you think, Moxie? Should I bounce him too?
On this forsaken rock? I need all the customers I can get, sugar. As long as they play by the rules.
Right.
Have they been given, no,
Or
it doesn't
you could do
look
what I
like they were
hate.
given,
What kind of bouncer leaves rippers
the,
outside
bolts.
A smart one.
Zane,
Interesting.
please. We need to break the Ripper siege. But we're out of ammo and ideas. Levain asked...
For me? Levin said that? Ha! I knew she'd darken me door again.
Dude, why are you so happy?
Left then. Vault Hunter, you're with me. This
Alright.
way. I'd like to introduce you to Sophia.
Sophia.
The one lady in my life who hasn't sent me packing.
Hey, sugar. What's your pleasure?
The excitement of unpredictable odds.
By the looks of you, me too, honey.
Interesting.
Have a drink on the house. Let's put some flash back in those well-moisturized cheeks.
Hey,
Well
I'll take whatever you
moisturized
got.
cheeks.
Yeah, from the top shelf, I mean.
I'll have you know, my help's
Pampered
pretty hard to come
politicians,
by.
folks.
Uh-huh.
This is why you send men. This is why you send hard men to war, not soft politicians.
Well, I hope you still cashed in on their bounties. Are you still in the game?
But
Well, I crashed here with Mox and some of the Crimson Raider crew. That put a real damper on business. But after saving the universe with Lilith, I couldn't really go back to my old tricks anyway. You'll know how that is soon enough.
But when Jane Seymour was introduced to Henry, Henry started thinking about replacing Anne.
Say, is this a 16? If so, I do not consent. We are better as friends.
Oh, jeez.
Now, Sophia can be a wee bit testy when she wakes up. But just stay calm, and you'll be fine.
I have many follow-up questions about Sophia.
Sophia! Time to wake up, my treasure.
What? What are we waking up?
Zane, no one is in there.
Patience.
I don't think it's a person. That is a big worm.
There she is! Who's my best Thrasher, lass?
Well, Thrasher.
You are. Yes, you are. Who's your cutie woody woody?
Okay, can I have a giant dire wolf
me and
pet?
Nev raised her from an egg. Think she got my looks?
Please.
She'll get the job done.
He gets the giant Thrasher. I want a giant wolf.
Are you sure that is a good idea?
Come on, don't be a skulker. Grapple those two bits open. There you go.
But anyway, my pouting aside.
See? On her best behavior already, my lasses.
Or at a bet, your lass is about to spring herself on me.
All right, easy now. All you need is her favorite chew toy, and she'll play as friendly as a puppy.
Her favorite.
Thrasher slobber.
Ew.
Lovely.
No, Sophia lives to play fetch with that thing. You place it on one of these Ripper catapults, she'll banjax the thing to bits just to reach it. Just, get well out of the way. Follow this tunnel out. It'll lead you straight to the catapults. Ha! These Ripper chancers have no idea what they're in for. I'll double back and take care of that first catapult.
You couldn't blow up. Have fun now.
Well, that's what you get when you have duds for explosives. I mean, seriously, who brings dudded explosives to a battlefield? Jeez. I mean, it's one thing if you're popping smoke, but to bring, for the C4 not to work. Shame, shame, shame.
Is that Lev? Have a little faith, darling. Your boy Ozane's on the case.
I'm simply being pragmatic. And with you?
You should clear out all the Rippers round the catapult before you set up Sophia's toy. She's people all the time. Those rusty cybernetics are havoc on the guts. Don't let those gobshites intimidate you. You've got something they haven't.
I know.
Who says I'm intimidated?
Your brain stem. Use it wisely.
Brainstem doesn't cover your higher functions.
You are not the only one in here.
Way vague. But Henry was introduced to Jane Seymour, took a fancy to her, and Anne's family started falling out of favor. And ultimately, Anne's brother-in-law, the man who married her sister, was executed. Her father barely escaped execution. Anne's own brother was also executed. Because it was believed that Anne attempted to have a child.
All you need to do is grapple onto the catapult and leave Sweet Sophia's toy.
Where's the grapple point then? There it is. There it is.
I have slapped on the toy. Now what?
Run like your sensitive bits depend on it. 'Cause they do! Here she comes, boyos!
Ah, Sophia! You are a good girl.
That's me, lass. 2 more catapults near you, Vault Hunter. Grab Sophia's toy and get moving.
Zane, did you let Sophia out? Is that your grand plan?
Well, it's my weekend with her. Plus, you were the one who said she needs more exercise.
I suppose you're right. If Carcadia must fall, we might as well go out in a blaze of Thresher's spit.
Well, okay, now where's my next catapult? Ah. Oh, I need to get the toy first.
How much slobber can one toy absorb?
The poor toy. So now Anne's family is falling out of favor. And suddenly there are rumors.
Desperately wants her bolt back. I shudder to ask why.
Should have just given it to me.
Suddenly there are rumors that Anne had
Place the toy. Run for your life.
committed adultery on Henry. Now, the historical record tells us that that there was no concrete proof that Anne ever actually did commit adultery on Henry. But ultimately, Anne was convicted of adultery, and multiple other people were convicted as her lovers. Even though in at least one case, the man who was seen comforting Anne was her own brother. And it was because Anne was worried about Henry's frightening behavior change toward her. And she was scared. So we don't really know for sure. However, there are theories that the Catholic Church helped incite these rumors. And why was that? To bring England back into the fold of the Catholic Church. So, and we don't, and you know, what was this a conspiracy? We don't actually know, because sadly, if there is any evidence of the Catholic Church doing anything of the sort, it's either A, been destroyed, or the distinct possibility is that the documents are locked in the papal libraries underneath the Vatican. And
Tremendous. Now please grab her toy and finish the last catapult. We can't take any more hits from the artillery.
so if there is any proof that the church not only propagated these rumors, but also helped circulate them, or quite possibly even conspired to end Anne Boleyn.
Small problem here. The catapult is surrounded by a force field. Might be above Sophia's pay grade.
Callus must be repurposing order tech. No matter. I can assist with that. The power is coming from nearby. Tracing it now. And... Ha! Head here and you can deactivate the shield manually.
But whether this is true or not, I do believe there was at least one actual assassination attempt on Anne Boleyn. But the attempt failed.
That's it! Punch that switch!
Done! The shield is taken care of.
Outstanding work, darling. Now take out that catapult if you'd be so kind.
I have just enough bullets for each of you. Sophia! Do your thing, girl.
Okay, scoot. Scoot, 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 scoot.
Perfection! The catapults are out of commission.
My sound as well. Now, Levin, let's talk about that dinner. I'll bring the candles. You bring the,
Not now, Zane. River forces are overwhelming us in the city. Vault Hunter, we need you here.
I am on my way. No more tea! To the mushrooms!
Alright. Hopefully that situation is dealt with for now. Never a dull moment.
Just what I was looking for.
But anyway, after Henry took an interest in Jane Seymour,
That is
might as
what
well
I
save
get for
myself.
going easy on you.
Squish. Don't lose your head, friend.
Zane, where are you? There are rippers everywhere. Heading into the fray now. Quip. It's Quent. Quent. Jeez, Bio, can you pick a name and stick with it?
The Ripper Fiends are all over. You'll need to fight your way in.
That will not be an issue.
Can do.
We're gonna take the metal out of your head so you can hear the moon song.
Yay, they're crazy as can be. End them quickly.
Eat up, girl. Fine day for a scrap, eh? Lorraine, where do you want us?
Clear out a path to the square beside the leader's chamber. That's where the Rippers are focusing their assault.
The lady gets what the lady wants. And you, show me what the new generation of Vault Hunters fights like.
Yes! Let us see if old dogs can still learn new tricks.
It looks like she ratted herself to death.
Just what I was looking
Oh, nice. So, Anne. So, Anne was convicted of adultery on the king. And she was sentenced to death.
Sophia, stay away from Moxie's paying customers. The rest are all yours. Carcadia's looking
That's because last time you visited, I had to sweet talk 3 judges to keep you out of jail.
Come on now, Lord. You've missed me.
Win this battle, then we'll talk.
Charming. Truly. So eventually, after Anne was convicted, Henry executed everyone who had been accused of sleeping with Anne. And it took a minute for the execution to happen, because Henry made a promise to Anne that a very specific executioner who lived in what was it called? I believe it was called Calais. Henry promised that he would get that specific executioner for Anne. And it took a minute for him to arrive in England, because Calais is in France. But he showed up, and on the day of Anne's execution, Anne stood up in front of the people and gave a rather heartfelt speech. And after that particular speech, even Anne's detractors were saying that the king executed an innocent woman. And the good news for Anne was that the swordsman from Calais actually did his job, and he took her head off in one swing. And for those of you who say, why is that so important? Well, to put it simply, if you were very fortunate and you got your head and you were sentenced to death by execution, if you were lucky, you got it got done in one swing.
The bolt is mine again.
Oh no.
It's so rare to see someone with a spine. I'm tempted to hold it in my hands, but I have a higher calling to attend. Rippers! Kill any who resist. Take the rest. Take only lives.
Oh, okay. Let's do things this way then.
Zane, please save it. You must repel her rippers. Arcadia is still at stake.
Oh, darn it. Bye. But the speech even made some of Anne's ardent detractors say that the king executed an innocent woman.
It is done. That was the last.
Are we seriously not dead? That's my favorite way to not be.
Aside from the
From the hundreds of casualties, of course.
Zane, are you alright?
Zane is fine. I am fine, but Sophia was not so lucky.
She saved Carcadia. Although with the bolt now in Callus's clutches, it may prove a hollow victory for both of us. Come to the leader's chamber. We should meet face to face. While we still can.
Oh, let's talk to Zane first. I know he's grieving, because that was a... Yeah, I understand his feeling.
I won't let that monster get away with this. Sophia
Monster.
was too beautiful for this world.
She has gone to chase the giant squeaky toy in the sky.
Okay. I need to use the bathroom, folks. I will be right back. I apologize, but I can't hold it anymore. Alright. I am back from the restroom, and we're getting back into the swing of things here.
Kanansi will take care of her.
My sweet girl. What have I done?
mean, that's not a way to die. I mean, that's kind of like what King Kong did in Godzilla vs. Kong. Or am I thinking of a different King Kong movie? I forget. Where he ripped the jaw off the Tyrannosaurus.
Calm, everyone, calm. This is no way to treat my guest.
Bro, you fumbled that?
To our hero. Sorry. We ran out of wine and potable water a few days ago, and all we have left are the fountains.
Ew. Oh god. Oh. Blech. Blech.
Zane? Oh, you stupid man. A fumble so massive, it will haunt your grandson.
I know. I agree.
Don't need the reminder.
Bro, you fumbled at least an 8.5 to a 9. Somebody smack this idiot.
Welcome to Carcadia. It's in rough shape, I know, but the elected will find a path ahead. Perhaps
But
even in the Crimson Resistance.
anyway,
Now
Henry after that married Jane Seymour.
No one is sorrier than I am that Callus took the command bolt.
Evil Geebag took a lot more than that.
I know. Try to contain your anger. We'll have our revenge for Sophia.
Why does this Ripper Queen need that bolt so badly?
I haven't the faintest, darling. That's what worries me. But in lieu of the promised bolt, I have a parcel of the finest Vault Hunter crap in Carcadia waiting for you just down the way. Fetch it at your leisure.
Wait, that stuff was mine. Oh, I must have left it after we, Was that the time with the whips or the crotch costumes?
Bro!
Oh, it was yours. Until you refused to retrieve it because you were not...
Whips are always fun, but dressed as the flying things. Come on, dude. Have some class. Use a red hot poker.
Over here, we have a demon to hunt. Well,
Okay, Calder. I say you.
Zane's hand-me-downs are great and all, but what is our plan for getting the command bolt back?
Not indeed. I have a few inklings, but the truth is that I can't do much until Carcadia's back up and running. Perhaps you can help speed that up? Please meet Leader Yorick when you're ready to pitch in.
Great. Yay, I have to fix all their junk now. Yay! So, Henry then married Jane Seymour. And things were going
yes,
well.
Our gunslinging help. I am Leader Yorick of the Technologists.
At least in the beginning, anyway.
You. The universe gives with both hands sometimes.
It wasn't too long before Jane Seymour was pregnant.
Of course. To the point, Carcadia
But
is in
there was
shambles.
another problem.
Power, water, fast
Shocking,
travel,
I know.
vending machines, all on the blink.
There was a peasant revolt that had started.
Anything at all. How can I help?
Start with the power. Use those sinuous legs of yours to find the core electrical relay,
Yorick's demeanor is off-putting. But you're doing Carcadia a great service. The other two house leaders could use your assistance as well, if you have a moment.
You see those infernal Ripper orbs? They're scrambling the power circuits. Have at them.
A few bullets should take care of these.
Let's use something a little bit more precise, shall we? Is that it? Or is there more? Oh, no, there's more over here. But a peasant uprising happened when,
Deliciously done. Just flip the switch to react.
when, the raiding of the abbeys happened.
Now to finish the job, find the valves to get our water flowing. And while you're about, our key systems. It's a simple matter of electrical rerouting.
Are you not the tech chief? Should you not be handling that?
With a fresh manicure. Are you mad? No, Yorick, don't be angry. I can't understand how offensive they've been.
Pansy.
Give it a few cranks, would you?
This feels Borderlands in a book.
Ravishing. Now flip the relevant switches, and Carcadia will be restored to technical glory, such as it is.
Sure. But the revolt happened, and Henry's, I guess you could say one of Henry's fears came true. He had a large portion of the northern part of his kingdom rebel against him. But, so, what did Henry do? Did he submit to these people? No, he did not. It took some time, but he gathered loyal forces. And he eventually put the rebellion down. And this was also partly due to Catherine's
Levain, any new thoughts on that command boat?
influence. Now, why do I say Catherine's influence held part of this?
Almost invisible to us. Strange, no?
Water flow has been
Simply put,
Impeccable work. Levain was right. You are an enticing specimen.
Yorick, really? Vault Hunter, I appreciate the help, but something rather urgent has arisen. It's Zane. After you left, I went to check on him, but he was just gone. I can't even raise him on comms. I'm afraid...
He went out for revenge on Callis.
Precisely. Please, can you track him down before he tries to take on the entire Ripper army? Head southwest for Fire Dust Bridge, and quickly. I'll direct you from there.
So it took some time for Henry to gather loyal troops and to what is wrong with my voice today? Or what's wrong with me today? I can't decide. But it took some time to gather loyal forces and put the rebellion down.
Taxing. At first, I found his unpredictability enthralling. But after our 20th daring escape from death, I realized he can't not live on the edge of disaster. He just does Zane.
One question. If Zane disappeared without a word, how do you know where to start looking?
An astute and awkward question. In our days together, we used to track each other. Well, I never stopped.
I see. You are one half of a deeply dysfunctional situation. Continue.
His signal rather oddly trailed
Wow.
way beyond that bridge. He's as solid a lead as we'll get. If you couldn't tell, our dear Zane isn't much of a
Paranoia's all I got left.
Vault Hunter. A moment.
Over here, we have a demon to hunt. Well, I say we. More you.
But
So, you're the one who saved us. I am leader Cassandra of the Agriculturalists. We nurture the future of the electee. I must admit, I am not accustomed to speaking to someone of your eclectic background.
I am a gambling robot with a magic deck of cards, but I am not magic myself. It is an important distinction. Are you writing this down?
How very droll. But your timekeeper maker attitude makes you ideal.
I believe the correct turn of phrase is devil may care attitude.
Help. Filthy beasts are pilfering our most essential provisions.
But anyway,
I ask of you, help secure our supplies. Well done. Now it's simply a matter of relocating those food containers to the store. Unit. My house set aside emergency food supplies in case of calamity. If only other leaders had shown such foresight. But alas, bilious creatures have sniffed out our reserves and snatched them away.
And I take it you would not have wanted to share with non-bilious creatures either.
Indeed. The offending creatures are lurking nearby. Find the missing food crates and retake them from the horrid beasts. I had to do it myself, of course, but I just put lotion on my hands and, well, they're really rather sticky. You understand.
This could be the start of a new side venture.
oh
Cassius
boo
Pest
hoo.
Control. I would have to say LLC.
And you're even setting up a limited liability corporation. Sadly, I like the way that he thinks. That's actually not a bad idea. Pest control company, that's an LLC. Protect your assets if possible.
I am not sure how Zane got across. It has been ravaged by rippers, and not in a fun way.
Sadly, I'm not surprised. The plateau on the other side is where Zane's signal gave out. Look for a way to lower the bridge.
So, where was I? Oh yes, Lady Jane Seymour. So after the rebellion was put down, it was right around the same time that the rebellion was all the way put down, or about halfway put down, that Jane Seymour went into labor with her and Henry's child. And the problem was that no matter how much time Jane Seymour spent in labor, the baby Edward, which was his name, which was the baby's name that he would later be christened with.
What are the odds this still works?
about the other one?
It is a start, at least. Now for the other half.
Gotta go across. So...
Time to try something else.
Feel free to demolish anything in your path, by the way. I know you vault hunters enjoy your spirited mayhem.
Mayhem, horror, chaos. Welcome to Hotel Hell.
Jackpot!
Well done, darling. Now hurry to the other side. I'll mark Zane's last coordinates from before his tracker faded away.
Is it not strange? After all this time, why would the signal suddenly falter?
I truly can't guess. I just hope we're not too late.
But Jane Seymour could not push out Prince Edward. And by day, I want to say at least day 3.
Hey! It's Quint! Help me with these jerks, okay?
But the royal physician got worried and told Henry that if they didn't do some sort of intervention, they would lose the queen and the unborn baby, because they didn't know at the time that it was a boy. So when push came to shove, Henry gave the authorization for the royal physician to...
Where is he now?
He went ahead into the abandoned order.
Calling it a cesarean section is would be the proper term, but it's not what they did.
I can't call him either. Comms go haywire when you get close. Something's interfering.
They literally cut into Jane to get the baby out.
Levain, I've found Quint. He says Zane went up.
Now, do you think they did any form of sterilization?
That may explain why Callus has been so invisible to us. Perhaps she's trying to prevent the Timekeeper from finding out what she's...
Damn. Comms really are on the fritz. Shut tight. No harm in knocking, I suppose. Delivery of Ripperbox, your favorite.
But anyway, where was I? Oh yes, the royal physician convinced Henry to let them cut the baby out of Jane Seymour.
I think I forgot. I am only a dumb ripper after all. Let me check again. Quint, can you hear me? The front gate is sealed, but they have the password at the Ripper camps nearby. I will investigate. Meet me at the side gate. Got it?
A blind date? I mean, I'm game, I guess, but so you know, I have a severely inflamed left.
No, not blind date. Side gate. Ah, forget it. I will try again later after I get that password.
But anyway. But anyway. Did the mic cut off? Oh wait, no, the bar's moving. Okay. Oh, for a second there, I thought I lost signal. Shoot. Okay. Looks like I got some travel time right now. Wonderful. Alright, let's go.
Under fire! Must you damage my toy! Push me! Damn it! You mine! I just paid this off! 250 flips, and I might spare you.
But anyway, they successfully removed the baby from Jane Seymour, but as per usual, they didn't do anything that they should have done, such as sterilize the instruments, make a sterile field. I can't say with any measure of certainty what they did and did not do, but all we know for certain was that about 2 weeks later, Jane Seymour
Do not make me turn this around! I have just enough bullets for each of you.
Two weeks later, Queen Jane Seymour passed away from septic fever.
Wish I had a torch for each hand.
So after Jane Seymour's passing, where am I looking? Oh, it's up there. So after Jane Seymour's passing, it wasn't really rumor, but there was, I believe it was the, trying to think. Trying to think. I don't remember. What was it? I believe there was a rumor. I believe there was a rumor that, who was it? I don't remember what it was. It a rumor or not? I don't remember off the top of my head. But there was, I don't remember if it was a rumor or not, but there was something going, but there was either a rumor or something else, or it was one of Henry's spies, I forget, that the Pope was trying to divert but there was either a rumor or a report from Henry's spies that the Pope was
Let us check out this little log.
Rippers, I know you got enough brain left to remember one password. The first part is honk shoe.
Honk show.
Get it right.
That is half the password. Just need the rest.
Well, not divert. He was trying to gather forces to forcibly bring England back into the fold. I guess we'll do that. 2 more of these, and then we'll swap to the other 2 other forms, and we'll get those passive ups. And Henry of the church, and Henry knew that he couldn't rely on any sort of family marriage in either France, Spain, and Italy technically too, because the city-states weren't reliant on Rome, but almost everybody there was of Roman Catholic faith. So Henry went, after doing some searching and getting some rejections from some initially interested parties, so Henry went to I don't remember I don't remember which Prussian city-state it was. I'd probably have to look it up because I don't even think that the city-state's name is used in modern Germany at this point. But Henry went to one of the German city-states and he negotiated a marriage military alliance with the city-state to keep the and that's where, after much negotiation, Henry agreed to marry Anna Close. Interesting shotgun.
All units, prepare for incoming prisoners, and if you forget the password, you know who's gonna rip out the rest of your spinal column! Me. Get it?
Honk, shoo, me. Very whimsical for a ripper. I like it. Quint, I have obtained the password for the scrapyard. Are you at the side gate? Damn jammed comms.
So Henry negotiated that alliance, but before Henry agreed to marry her, he actually wanted to see what Anne looked like. So a painter was dispatched, and the painting was sent back to England, and apparently Henry really liked how she looked. So
Damage my toy!
Take it in!
Went? Where are you? Went? Quick!
And
meet me inside. Very ominous sight.
so the marriage was agreed upon that Henry would marry Anna Cloves and that they would get reinforcements from the city-state's Prussian military, which would deter France and Spain from possibly invading on the orders of the Pope.
can see right through you.
So when Anne showed up in England for the marriage, Henry married her, but immediately he couldn't stand to be around her. Now, some people will say, you know, after all of this, why did Henry do that? Well, that was actually goes down to Henry's description of Anne. Because according to Henry's written, according to Henry's own words, Anne stunk. And there's also an unconfirmed report that when Henry saw Anne naked for the first time, he did not like what he saw. And the basic description here was, it looked like she used to be pretty hefty.
Bingo! Come on in. You never can be too careful with vault hunters running. Ah, shit! You're a vault hunter! Damn my chatty nature!
It looked like she had been, had a
Well, there is our boyo on his best behavior.
Tell me where your monkey queen is and I'll let you live. Okay, I won't. But tell me anyway.
Zane! Encananzi!
Ah, joined the party, have you?
Here for some of Callus' blood? Well, no. I told Levine I would bring you back.
Not so fast. The Ripper Queen's bringing prisoners to this shithole. We need to end her and her plans right quick. So pitch in with these Rippers or go kick dirt.
Wow. Quite an impressive touch.
She had been overweight and then lost it really quick. Because if you gain a lot of weight and then you lose the weight, what normally happens is the skin starts sagging. And back then, you know, there was nothing you could do about it. You know, nowadays, you can get cosmetic surgery to remove the excess skin. But you know, that's what was said. Now, people will say, oh, Henry's so shallow. Well, considering how many women out there supposedly want 6 inches, 6-pack, 6-figure income, and 6 inches plus down south, I don't really want to hear anyone call Henry shallow when according to certain groups that they're to believe, modern women are more shallow than Henry himself.
Send more my way. I am hot.
So, and there's also another thing you have to consider here. Henry's biggest complaint was that Anne of Cloves stunk. And considering the fact that there was no plumbing back then, there was no plumbing, and most chamber pots were poured out of windows. There were no outhouses. And so that means that well, I mean, castles did have gong farmers, that it was their job to remove waste, but that still doesn't mean when you walked into those places the smell was not there. So
Pure class. Now we've got to blow the lid off the Ripper Queen's nightmare factory.
So, for Henry to sit there and say that Anna Cloves stunk, that says magnitudes to about how badly she smelled.
Quisp, you mean? Ain't seen him since the bridge. I reckon he headed back to Carcadia. Now get to hacking that jammer. I'll watch her back.
Go for your turn.
Hello, new customer. Welcome to the doll family of military hardware for home use. Please log into your Doll
That
Plus
means
account
Anna
or register
Cloves
as a new user.
really had a really stunk, and it's you know, we don't really know why that was the case.
Still on the Digby vermouth mailing list from the last thing I saw. Just smash the bleeding pig.
Membership with Doll Plus Emerald bestows a galaxy of benefits, such as basic functionality, free 3-month delivery of doll products, and the sense of dignity and accomplishment at knowing you can afford Doll Plus Emerald.
Cleaning up the
Quiet.
galaxy, one predatory subscription service at a time.
A proper smashing. Jammer's down. The vein love. You there?
Zane, you had me so annoyed. You had me annoyed. What's going on?
This ain't a refinery. Some kind of base where Callus is stashing prisoners. Queen Looney's been hiding it with the jammer.
To keep the timekeeper's eyes out.
So, if Anna Cloves really smelled that badly, Henry couldn't stand to be around her, and he didn't even want to touch her. So, after...
Now hop aboard the lift.
So...
Levine, have you heard from Quint?
Quint? No. I thought he was with you two.
So, Henry managed to annul the marriage by claiming she had been, that another man had her. Or, actually, that might be the dramatized version. But Henry managed to finagle an annulment
Your reckless way of the highway. Sounds familiar.
because he never really did touch Anne. So after that, Henry, as parting gifts, gave Anne 2 estates, I believe it was. She's on fire, burn, baby, burn. She's on fire.
Wish I had a torch for each hand.
So after Henry gave all of that to Anne of Cloves, I'm not sure how long it was before he ended up marrying wife number 5, which would be whom that is Catherine Howard.
Just ripped you from the land of living.
And so Anne went back to Prussia, and I don't think she ever married, to be perfectly honest. I know that she ended up spending her time in between Prussia and I know she spent time in between being in Prussia and her estates and the estates Henry gave her in England.
We have her scared. Just gotta find her. On we go.
But Catherine Howard was, I think she was 16 when she married Henry, which was normal for the time, mind you.
My plans are in motion.
Maker's mercy. What is this place?
The prison. She
And
is keeping these people hostage.
Prison. This is the freest place on Kairos. An altar of
so,
where the shackled learn to
and Henry married Catherine Howard.
Holy.
And
These prisoners. Callus is ripping them against their will.
so she was fairly young, and Henry at this point in time was this 40-year-old he was obese. He would have been obese. He would have been obese.
You always said my will was strong. Soon you'll feel it brought to bear. I have seen your downfall in the flames.
Ugh. This puppet show is making me skin crawl. We've got to free these prisoners before more loonies come.
I'll save you the effort. Kairos has no use for these tainted creatures.
What?
No!
Oh no.
Monsters! The both of them!
Yeah.
To lose so many fresh recruits. But I do still have one particularly promising candidate.
Zane! Vault Hunter! Get out before...
Quaint.
You sped up my plans, but I will seize my wings of fire. They burn and burn in my mind's eye. Now, sadly, I must take my leave. My calling is too important to delay.
You know better than most. You cannot outrun fate, Callus. I will be your end.
Feckin' hell, she's gone! Still have to wait then. We need to find Quent. Through here.
Lev,
The Looney Queen's got Quent in danger.
and she's flown the coop.
Don't worry about her. You'll get your chance. Just focus on saving as many of those prisoners as you can.
Quent, boyo. This is all my fault.
I've got one boss fight and try and save this guy. We'll go, okay. So Henry, so now in the case of Catherine Howard, so Catherine Howard was a bit over 20 years Henry's junior, and Henry, after his last joust, ended up cracking his leg. And after cracking the bones in his legs, he got bone spurs in his leg. So with the bone spurs in Henry's legs, he wasn't able to be the active man he was. But Henry also didn't change his diet. So because Henry didn't change his diet, and he also wasn't as active as he used to be, he ended up putting on a lot of weight. So Henry, so by the time he married Catherine Howard, so Henry was no longer this, young, this mature man who was very active. He had morphed from this very active king into this very fat king. So, to say that Catherine Howard was revolted by him,
You deal with this, Gobshite. I'll look for a way to stop the machine. Now, let's have a rip-roaring time!
so Henry, with now being fairly overweight by the time standards, Catherine Howard, and it's also hard to say if Henry even had the ooh, hello.
Grant! It's him! Zane! Help! Don't you worry, Bio! We need to stop this machine now. How? Just do what I do! Shoot stuff and...
Now we are making some progress.
Guys, hurry! Tax the machine, or we lose Grant. Like, lose?
Oh, I saved him this time.
I am not tired. Really, I could keep going. Thank the stars, Asta. Your gums will be sore for a week. Can I open my eyes now? That's right,
You did all you could. Both of you.
So
I just
for ow. So it was actually proven that Catherine Howard had actually committed infidelity with a much younger man who I believe, what is the proper term for it? I don't remember the proper term.
I need a bath bomb. Lavender. Thank you.
He needs a lavender bath bomb. Actually, you'd probably need a new pair of pants too, to be frankly honest. So now, how did Catherine Howard and her lover get caught? I believe it was... And I believe Henry had some... I don't remember if this person had a particular name, but Henry had someone he trusted. Once he started suspecting the infidelity, keep an eye on Catherine.
There are enough bullets for all of you.
But so after it was confirmed, and no one could sit there and deny and say that Henry executed an innocent woman, I believe Catherine Howard was allowed... I don't remember if she was actually pregnant or not by then, but if she was, it was believed that the child was not Henry's. And that Catherine Howard was promptly executed by beheading. If she was pregnant, they probably spared the child's life. And as for Henry's last wife, Catherine Parr, they were only married for like 5 years, I believe. Ugh. Because at the end of 5 years, Henry finally succumbed to the bone spurs that were in his body, and he passed of septic infection. So, and Henry actually left Catherine Parr. Catherine Parr was actually fairly educated for the time frame. But Catherine Parr, when Henry died, he actually left her a portion of his personal library to her, because that's how much she liked books. And to my knowledge, Catherine Parr did not remarry after Henry's death. And if you wanted to be technical, the two who actually made it out the best of Henry's 6 wives was Anne of Cloves and Catherine Parr. But sadly, folks, I need to go. I have a situation I need to deal with. So we're going to cut things off here. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And I will see everybody next week.